Where does it go from here? I mean, the president's agenda is really what we want to look at. In a Wall Street Journal op-ed today, Karl Rove says that like any president, Trump will be judged by his results. And so far, he's failed to deliver much, even as he plays down the difficulties of legislating. Here's just one example of that from a sit-down interview with the president back in April, which Karl Rove mentions.
We have a great health care plan that I think will happen. And if it happens, then I go immediately to tax reform, and that will happen. That will be easier than health care.
House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Kevin Brady remains bullish on the prospects, meanwhile, for passing tax reform. He's in California at the Reagan Ranch this week. He told reporters the differences between health care and a tax overhaul are, quote, just about everything. But can the president get it in gear and stop stepping on his own agenda, Lawrence? What do you think the agenda now is in jeopardy again?
Yes, and he has to listen to his staff. I mean, Kelly was brought there for a reason. I mean, even when we talk about the president's statements on Charlottesville, he didn't read. He didn't read. They teed him up. They said, Mr. President, stick to your notes that we provided for you, the script. He has to remain focused because, once again,
it's the ad-libbing that
keeps getting him in trouble. And he says things that maybe his heart doesn't mean some of the stuff that he says, but it's still a mistake. And again, he could be talking about tax reform this week. He could be talking about businesses this week, which he's
supposed to be talking about infrastructure, during that disastrous press
conference. Can he, though? I mean, how hard is it to pivot here after what has taken place this week?
I think it's going to be extremely difficult. I imagine if he is the man you hope he is taking learnings from this week, and he is going to do everything that Lawrence is telling him. But I worry.
He's doubling down. When he pivoted back, I was like, I gave him credit for the first time because he said, you know what, I'm going to call it by its name, white supremacy, white nationalism, and then he pivoted back, which means he's a little stubborn.
I gave him credit, too. And
a little stubborn? He's a little stubborn.
After looking at everything he said and saying that there are good people on both sides.
You can't defend it.
It just destroyed everything. It's impossible to defend. Impossible.
And it's going to make it difficult for, I agree with you, Jamie Dimon wants to be there for America.
Right.
But he also has to balance the interest of his employees, his shareholders, and his customers. And if the president continues to become kind of, you have to call it toxic on these kinds of race issues, then it's going to make it much more difficult for corporate America to work with him on these really critical agenda items.
Well, one of the shaming that was going on yesterday was Larry Summers, who came out tweeting saying that Doug McMillon was unfit to run Walmart if he did not denounce and step down from the council. Now, Doug McMillon did not step down from the council initially, but it was this public shaming that Larry Summers was doing and calling out all of the people on the council to step down because of the president's comments.
And unfortunately, the president has given them every bat with which to beat him. He has made it very easy for the left to do this kind of shaming process because he's kind of trying to defend.
They're also shaming administration officials to leave.
Yes.
So whether it's Gary Cohn, whether it's John Kelly, you will hear that until you'll hear it ad infinitum.
Yeah, we'll see if it actually happens, and if, because that was the speculation yesterday, all this prodding to get Gary Cohn and Stephen Mnuchin.
The council was bad. I mean,